And remember this, we're not just fighting for revenge. We're fighting so no other species ever thinks they can do this to the Galactic Council. Begged for mercy. Humanity struck back with vengeance. Commander Bora stood in the war room of the flagship Retribution. Around her, holographic displays showed the positions of every Council fleet in the galaxy. 5 years of watching, 5 years of learning, 5 years of planning. They knew where every ship was, every station, every weakness. Target selection is complete, she announced to the assembled commanders. We hit them simultaneously. 6 worlds, 6 strikes, all at the same time. Captain Dae Sung studied the battle plans. They'll never see it coming. That's the idea. Bora zoomed in on the Krillian home system. We've been dead for 5 years. Ghosts don't attack. They won't expect this. Engineer Minho entered the room carrying a datapad. He was young, barely 30, but his mind had revolutionized human military technology. Final tests are complete on the quantum disruptors. They'll shut down alien shields like flipping a switch. And the cloaking systems? Admiral Taeyang asked. Perfect. We tested them against captured Council sensors. They can't detect us until we're right on top of them. Minho grinned. It was not a kind smile. We're going to walk right past their defenses and they won't know until the shooting starts. Ambassador Hana watched the younger generation plan their war. Part of her was proud. Part of her was terrified. We need to remember who we are. We're not doing this to become monsters. We're not monsters, Bora said coldly. Monsters kill innocent people. We're killing the people who killed innocents. There's a difference, is there? Hana challenged. Yes. It was Hyun who spoke. The boy from New Seoul was now 23, a decorated lieutenant and one of their best pilots. Monsters attack the helpless. We're attacking the guilty. Every target we've selected participated in the attack on humanity. Every single one. Intelligence Officer Jae Hyun stepped forward. He had spent 3 years undercover in alien space, gathering information, building networks of informants. Ambassador, I've read the reports. I've seen the files. These aliens celebrated our deaths. They divided our worlds. They erased us from history books. They feel no guilt. Then we'll teach them guilt, Dae Sung said quietly. The meeting continued for hours. Every detail was examined. Every possibility planned for. They had one chance to make this work. One chance to show the galaxy that humanity could not be erased. As the commanders left, Taeyang pulled Hana aside. I know this troubles you. Of course it troubles me. We're planning to kill millions of beings. They killed millions of us first. Taeyang's voice was gentle but firm. I understand your concerns. I share them. But we're not starting this war. We're finishing it. And after? What kind of species will we be? The kind that survives. The kind that protects its own. The kind that never ever forgives genocide. Taeyang looked out at the fleet assembling in space. They wanted to exterminate us, Hana. They tried. They failed. Now they pay the price. Across the fleet, soldiers prepared. Weapons were checked and rechecked. Ships were fueled. Pilots ran final simulations. Everyone knew their role. Everyone knew the stakes. Lieutenant Su Min gathered her special operations team. They would be the first ones in, hitting ground targets while the fleet engaged orbital defenses. Remember your training, fast, precise, ruthless. We're not there to occupy. We're there to destroy. Her team nodded. They were all survivors. All of them had lost someone in the initial attack. Looking at their faces, Su Min saw the same expression she saw in her own mirror every morning. Cold determination mixed with burning rage. Dr. Jiwoo made final adjustments to the equalizer weapon. It was the most powerful thing humanity had ever built. A weapon that could collapse the shields of an entire planet. She had argued against using it. Some weapons were too terrible. But the military insisted. If they needed it, they had to have it ready. I hope we don't use this, she muttered. Her assistant looked at her. After what they did to us? Even after that, Jiwoo closed the containment unit. Using this makes us as bad as them. No, using this makes us survivors. The fleet gathered at the rally point. 200 ships. Not large by galactic standards. The Council had thousands of vessels. But these 200 ships were crewed by people who had nothing left to lose and everything to avenge. Commander Bora addressed the entire fleet through the communication system. 5 years ago, they came to our homes. They killed our families. They thought they could erase humanity from existence. They were wrong. Today we show them the cost of that mistake. Today we show them that humanity does not forget, does not forgive, does not die quietly. Every shot you fire, fire it for the fallen. Every target you destroy, destroy it for those who can't fight anymore. Make them remember this day forever. The fleet erupted in cheers, not joyful cheers. These were the sounds of people who had suffered too long, who had been patient too long, who were finally getting the chance to strike back. Captain Dae-sung sat in his command chair. His ship was the Ghost of New Seoul, named for his lost colony. Around him, his crew worked with calm efficiency. They had trained for this moment, lived for it. All ships report ready, his communications officer announced. Then let's begin. Jump to Krill Prime. Dae-sung pressed the activation button. The Ghost of New Seoul jumped into faster-than-light travel. Behind it, the fleet followed. They appeared in the Krillian home system without warning. One moment the space was empty. The next, 200 human ships materialized inside the defensive perimeter. The alien sensors registered nothing until it was too late. Enemy fleet detected, a Krillian officer screamed. Where did they come from? I thought the humans were dead, his commander shouted. Target their orbital platforms, Dae-sung ordered. Fire at will. The Ghost fleet opened fire. Minho's quantum disruptors hit first, collapsing the shields on the Krillian defense stations. Then the real weapons struck. Kinetic rounds, energy beams, missile swarms. The orbital defenses that had taken decades to build died in minutes. Counselor Vexthar watched from his palace as fire rained from the sky. This is impossible. The humans are extinct. Apparently not, his military advisor said, his voice shaking. Sir, we need to evacuate. I will not run from dead species, Vexthar screamed. Then he saw the ships. Human ships. Ships that looked nothing like the old human designs. Sleek, fast, deadly. What are those? Ghosts, someone whispered. Across the galaxy, the same scene repeated. The Talaxian home fleet found itself under attack by ships they could not detect until too late. The Vordash military headquarters exploded as human strike teams teleported directly into the command center. The Zenth defensive network collapsed as human hackers trained by Jae-hyun shut down their entire computer system. The Moravian defense fleet tried to fight back. It was a slaughter. Human ships danced around their weapons fire, targeting weak points with perfect precision. 5 years of studying alien tactics paid off. Humans knew every move the aliens would make before they made it. The Kellen military command called for reinforcements. The reinforcements never arrived. Human ships had blockaded the jump points. Nothing got in, nothing got out. Lieutenant Su-min and her team hit the ground on Krill Prime. Their target was the Council Archives, the place where records were kept, including the records of the conspiracy against humanity. Secure the building, she ordered. Her team moved like shadows. Alien guards fell before they could raise an alarm. Within 10 minutes, the archives were under human control. Upload everything, Su-min commanded. I want every file, every message, every piece of evidence. Hyun worked the computers. Got it. Transmitting to the fleet now. Ambassador Hana received the transmission aboard the Retribution. She started reading the files. Her face went white. They planned it for 7 years. 7 years they smiled at us while planning to kill us all. Now the galaxy will know the truth, Tae-yang said. Broadcast it. Every channel. Every frequency. Let everyone see what the Council did. The message went out across the galaxy. Evidence, proof, communications between the 6 species. Plans for the attack. Discussions of how to divide human territory. Notes about eliminating human witnesses. Video of Counselor Vexthar saying that humanity needed to be exterminated for the safety of the galaxy. Other alien species watched in horror. They had believed the Council's story that humans started the war. Now they saw the truth. The Council had committed genocide. Premeditated, calculated, cold-blooded. Captain Dae-sung's fleet completed its mission. The orbital defenses of all 6 conspiracy worlds were destroyed. Military shipyards were burning. Command centers were rubble. The entire military infrastructure of 6 civilizations was crippled in less than 48 hours. Status report, Dae-sung requested. Minimal casualties on our side. 3 ships damaged. 0 ships lost. His tactical officer smiled. Sir, we just crippled 6 species and barely got scratched. Commander Bora coordinated the withdrawal. The fleet had struck hard and fast. Now they pulled back before the aliens could organize a counterattack. Phase 1 complete. All ships returned to rally point. As the human fleet disappeared, the 6 alien species tried to understand what had happened. Their mighty fleets were broken. Their defenses were destroyed. And they had not even managed to seriously hurt them while. The Galactic Council begged for mercy. Humanity struck back with vengeance. The war entered its 2nd month. Humanity struck everywhere at once. Ghost fleet ships appeared in random systems, destroyed military targets, and vanished before reinforcements could arrive. The 6 conspiracy species lived in constant fear. They never knew where humans would attack next. Captain Dae Sung commanded his battle group in the Talaxian sector. His mission was simple: destroy their ability to build ships. The massive shipyard orbiting Talax 3 had been building warships for 300 years. It would not see 301. Ghost protocol activated, his tactical officer reported. They can't see us. The human ships drifted closer to the shipyard. Thousands of Talaxian workers moved through the facility, unaware that death floated invisible just kilometers away. Dae Sung felt a moment of hesitation. Those were workers, not soldiers. Then he remembered New Soul. Remembered his sister working in the hydroponics bay when the attack came. She had been a worker too. The aliens had not cared. Fire, he ordered. The quantum torpedoes struck the shipyard's power core. The explosion was massive. The shipyard tore itself apart. Dae Sung watched debris scatter across space. Some of that debris had been people moments ago. He felt nothing. 5 years ago, he would have felt sick. Now he just felt tired. Target destroyed. Moving to secondary objective. Lieutenant Su Min led her team through the underground tunnels of Vordesh Prime. Their target was a military research facility. Intelligence said the Vordesh were developing new weapons specifically designed to fight humans. That research would never see completion. Charges set, her demolition expert reported. Everyone out. We blow it in 2 minutes. Su Min checked her team. 12 went in. 12 would come out. She had not lost a single person yet. She intended to keep it that way. They emerged from the tunnels just as the facility exploded. The ground shook. Fire erupted from the underground complex. Years of research gone in seconds. Hyun piloted his fighter through the debris field near Zenth Station. His squadron had just destroyed a council supply convoy. 12 transport ships carrying food and medicine to alien military bases. All destroyed. All crew dead. Good work, squadron. Return to carrier, his commander ordered. Hyun guided his ship back through the wreckage. Through his viewport, he saw bodies floating in space. Alien bodies. He used to feel bad about killing. Then he stopped. These aliens had tried to exterminate his entire species. They did not deserve his pity. Engineer Min Ho worked day and night to improve human weapons. Every battle provided data. Every engagement showed where humans could improve. His latest creation was a missile that could track ships through faster than light travel. No more escaping human attacks by jumping away. Test results are perfect, he told Commander Bora. We can install them on the entire fleet. Do it. I want every ship equipped within a week. Bora studied the tactical maps. The 6 conspiracy species were trying to coordinate their defenses. Too late. Humans were always 3 steps ahead. Intelligence Officer Jae Hyun had informants on every major alien world. Some were aliens who disagreed with the genocide. Most were humans who had been living in alien space when the attack happened. They had survived by hiding. Now they fed information to the human military. The Moravian fleet is gathering at Rally Point 7, one informant reported. 200 ships. They're planning a counterattack. Jae Hyun immediately sent the information to the fleet. Target opportunity. Large Moravian force gathering. Coordinates transmitted. Admiral Taeyang saw the opportunity. Send Battle Group 3, hit them while they're stationary. The human ships jumped into the Moravian rally point. The alien fleet was completely unprepared. They were loading supplies, refueling, running maintenance. Half the ships did not even have their shields up. The Ghost Fleet attacked from all sides. The Moravian commanders screamed orders, trying to organize a defense. It was like trying to fight shadows. Human ships would appear, fire, and vanish before the aliens could return fire. In 30 minutes, the Moravian fleet ceased to exist. 200 ships destroyed. 50,000 aliens dead. Human casualties. 1 ship damaged, 13 wounded, 0 dead. Counselor Vexthar called an emergency meeting of the conspiracy leaders. All 6 attended by hologram. All 6 looked terrified. We're losing, the Talaxian leader said bluntly. Every day, humans destroy more of our forces. We can't find them. We can't fight them. We can barely defend ourselves. How is this possible? The Vortish commander demanded. We destroyed humanity. We saw their colonies burn. We destroyed their colonies, Vexithar admitted. But we didn't destroy their spirit. We made them angry. We united them. And now they're destroying us. We need to sue for peace, the Kellan ambassador suggested. Peace, Vexithar laughed bitterly. You think humans want peace? We tried to exterminate them. They want revenge, he was right. Ambassador Hana received 3 separate peace offers in the 2nd month. She rejected them all without even reading the terms. Tell them we're not interested in their surrender, she told the messenger. Tell them the war continues until we decide it's over. The messenger, a neutral alien species, looked shocked. Ambassador, they're offering reparations, territory, technology, everything. They can offer their souls. The answer is still no. Hana's voice was ice. They taught us a valuable lesson. When you try to exterminate a species, you better make sure you finish the job. They didn't finish. Now they face the consequences. Captain Daesung's fleet struck deep into Krillian space. Their target was the Council's central command station. The massive facility coordinated all Council military operations. It was heavily defended by the best ships and weapons the aliens had. It was not enough. The human fleet jumped in at point-blank range, bypassing the outer defenses entirely. Minho's new weapons tore through the station's shields like paper. Boarding teams led by Lieutenant Su Min teleported directly into the command center. Secure all data archives, Su Min ordered, and find me any council leaders who might be here. Her team moved through the station like a storm. Alien soldiers tried to resist, they died. Officers tried to destroy files. They died. Administrators tried to flee. They died too. Su Min found what she was looking for in the central chamber. 3 council members, including a Krillian general who had personally ordered attacks on human colonies. You, she said to the general, you ordered the attack on Titan Station. The general looked at her with fear in his eyes. I was following orders. So am I. Su Min raised her weapon. My orders are to make sure you never give orders again. The shot echoed through the empty chamber. Dr. Jiwoo watched from the fleet as the command station exploded. Part of her died a little bit more. She had become a creator of weapons instead of a scientist. The war had changed all of them. Are we still the good guys? She asked Admiral Tae Yang. There are no good guys in war, Tae Yang replied. Only survivors and the dead. We choose to survive. At what cost? Whatever it takes. Tae Yang turned away from the viewport. You can have morals when you're safe. When someone tries to kill your entire species, morals become a luxury we can't afford. The 3rd month of the war began. Humanity controlled no territory, but they owned the space between stars. No alien convoy was safe. No military base was secure. No fleet could gather without human ships appearing to destroy them. The 6 conspiracy species started to crack. The Kellan government collapsed in a coup. The new leaders immediately tried to make peace with humanity. Ambassador Hana rejected them too. Your old leaders tried to kill us. You did nothing to stop them. You're guilty too. Her message was broadcast across the galaxy. There will be no peace. There will be no surrender. There will be only justice. Commander Bora implemented the next phase of the plan, Operation Extinction Protocol. Human forces would target the home worlds of the conspiracy leaders. Not the planets themselves. That would make humans as bad as the aliens. But everything in orbit, every station, every satellite, every ship. The alien leaders would watch their civilization stripped of everything in space while humanity broadcasted the reasons why. Captain Daesung led the attack on Krill Prime. His fleet appeared in high orbit. This time they stayed visible. They wanted the aliens to see them. Broadcast on all frequencies, Daesung ordered. His face appeared on every screen on the planet below. People of Krill Prime, 5 years ago your leaders ordered the destruction of humanity. They told you we were dangerous. They told you it was necessary. They lied. We never threatened you. We were your allies, your friends, and you tried to exterminate us. He paused. Today we show you the cost of that decision. Watch your orbital infrastructure die. Watch your space stations burn. And remember, humanity tried to live in peace. You chose war. This is what war with humanity looks like. The Ghost Fleet began systematically destroying everything in orbit. Space stations, satellites, defense platforms, ships, anything and everything. The people on Krill Prime could only watch as their connection to the galaxy was severed. Young Hyun piloted his fighter past the burning remains of a passenger station. Part of him remembered when he was young, when he believed in peace, when he thought violence was always wrong. That boy died on New Sol. What remained was a weapon aimed at humanity's enemies. The Galactic Council begged for mercy. Humanity struck back with vengeance. 6 months had passed since the attack. The galaxy watched as human resistance crumbled. Every week brought news of another human ship destroyed, another outpost overrun, another group of survivors captured or killed. The Galactic Council broadcast daily reports declaring victory after victory. Lieutenant Su-min crawled through the ventilation shaft of Europa Station. Behind her, 12 civilians followed in silence. The station was surrounded by Krillian forces. They had 1 hour before the enemy breached the command center. 1 hour to get these people to the last escape pod. She had been a special operations officer before the war. Now she was whatever humanity needed her to be. A soldier, a rescuer, a killer. She had stopped counting how many aliens she had killed. She had stopped feeling guilty about it too. "Lieutenant, we're clear to the docking bay," whispered one of her team members. "Move quickly. Stay quiet." Su-min dropped from the shaft and helped the civilians down. Among them was a teenager named Hyun. He had survived the destruction of New Sol. His entire family was gone. He never spoke anymore. He just followed orders with empty eyes. They reached the escape pod. Su-min started the launch sequence. Alarms blared throughout the station. "They found us. Go, go," she shouted. The civilians piled into the pod. Su-min turned to hold off the enemy soldiers rushing down the corridor. Energy blasts lit up the hallway. 2 of her team members fell. She kept firing. "Lieutenant, get in," someone yelled. She dove into the pod as it launched. Through the viewport, she watched Europa Station explode. Another human home destroyed. Another piece of humanity erased from the galaxy. The pod drifted through space, its engines barely functioning. Su-min checked their supplies. 3 days of air. Maybe 4. "No way to call for help without attracting enemy attention. Will someone find us?" a civilian asked. Yes, Su-min lied. She had become good at lying. It was kinder than the truth. Captain Dae-sung sat in the command chair of his new ship. It was not really a ship. It was a modified cargo vessel with weapons bolted to its hull. The Perseverance was gone, destroyed in a battle near Mars. Most of his crew was dead, but he was still fighting. His fleet, if you could call it that, consisted of 15 ships. None of them were military vessels. They were miners, haulers, and passenger ships that refused to surrender. Together they raided alien supply lines. Hit and run. Strike fast. Disappear before reinforcements arrived. "Captain, we've intercepted a distress signal. Escape pod. Human signatures," his communications officer reported. "Set course. Maximum speed." Dae-sung leaned forward. Every human life mattered now. They had lost so many. Every survivor was precious. They found the pod drifting near Jupiter's moons. Lieutenant Su-min and her group were half dead from oxygen deprivation. But they were alive. "Welcome aboard, Lieutenant," Dae-sung said as medics carried the survivors to the medical bay. Su-min grabbed his arm. "Europa Station is gone. They're pushing toward the inner system. They want Earth. Let them come. Earth has teeth." But Dae-sung knew the truth. Earth's defenses were shattered. If the alien fleets reached the homeworld, billions would die. On Mars, deep underground, Dr. Jiwoo stood before Admiral Tae-yang and Ambassador Hana. Behind her, a massive hangar held something covered in protective sheets. "You called this meeting. I hope it's good news," Tae-yang said. He looked older. They all did. War aged people faster than time. "It's news," Dr. Jiwoo replied. "Whether it's good depends on how desperate we are." She pressed a button. The sheets fell away, the room gasped. Before them stood weapons unlike anything humanity had built before. Ship-mounted cannons that bent space itself, armor that adapted to any attack, stealth technology that made ships invisible to sensors. "We've been working on these for 10 years. Secret projects. Each one violates council treaties. We built them anyway, hoping we'd never need them." Dr. Jiwoo walked along the rows of weapons. "Now we need them." "How many ships can we equip?" Hana asked. "With what we have now? Maybe 20. But we can build more. We just need time." Time is what we don't have, Taiyang said. The council believes we're finished. They're saying humanity is extinct. Their fleets are celebrating victory, preparing to occupy Earth. Good, Daesung said from the doorway. He had just arrived, still covered in soot from his last battle. Let them think we're dead. Let them relax. Let them get comfortable. You can't be serious, Hana said. I'm completely serious. We've lost this war. Everyone knows it. The aliens know it. Even we know it. Daesung walked to the weapons display. But what if we didn't lose? What if we just pretended to lose? What if we disappeared for a while, rebuilt, prepared, then came back stronger? Taiyang studied the younger captain. You're talking about abandoning Earth. I'm talking about saving humanity. Earth is a rock. Humanity is the people. We evacuate everyone we can, fake our extinction, hide in deep space, build a real fleet with these weapons. Daesung pointed at the equipment. Then we come back and make them regret everything they did to us. The room fell silent. It was a terrible idea. It meant letting the aliens think they had won. It meant hiding while they celebrated. It meant swallowing pride and anger and the screaming need for revenge. It was also their only chance. How long would we need? Hana asked quietly. Dr. Jiwoo calculated quickly. 5 years. Maybe less if we can get enough people to the hidden shipyards. 5 years of pretending we're dead. 5 years of letting them think they won. Taiyang stood and walked to the viewport. Mars stretched below them, red and angry. Can we even do this? Can we hide 40 million people? We're humans, Sumin said. She had entered the room with young Hyun behind her. We're the species that survived ice ages and plagues and wars. We crossed oceans in wooden boats. We split the atom. We reached the stars. Hiding for 5 years? That's nothing. Hyun spoke for the first time in months. My family is dead. My friends are dead. My whole world is dead. His voice was soft but hard as steel. I'll wait 5 years. I'll wait 50 years. I don't care. As long as we make them pay. The decision was made. Over the next 3 months, humanity executed the greatest disappearing act in history. Ship by ship, person by person, they evacuated Earth. The aliens noticed the evacuation ships but assumed humans were just running away in panic. They let them go. Why chase refugees? The alien fleets entered Earth's solar system expecting a final desperate battle. Instead, they found silence. Empty cities. Abandoned stations. Ghost ships drifting in orbit. Where are they? Counselor Vexthar demanded. Gone, his advisor replied. The humans fled. We won. The Galactic Council declared humanity extinct. They celebrated. They divided human territory. They congratulated themselves on eliminating a dangerous species. Some felt guilty. Most felt relieved. In uncharted space beyond mapped star systems inside a nebula that scrambled sensors humanity built, engineers worked 20-hour days. Scientists tested new weapons. Soldiers trained for the war to come. Children learned about the betrayal so they would never forget. Ambassador Hana stood before the assembled survivors. They think we're gone. They think they won. Let them think that. Let them enjoy their victory. Because in 5 years we're going home. And when we do, the galaxy will learn what humanity truly is. Captain Daesung trained the new pilots, young men and women like Yoon who had lost everything. He taught them to fly, to fight to survive. Most importantly, he taught them to be patient. Revenge is a dish best served cold, he told them. We're going to freeze this dish for 5 years. Then we're going to serve it to every single alien who thought they could exterminate us. Dr. Jiwoo walked through the hidden shipyard. New vessels took shape in the construction bays. They were beautiful and terrible, fast, deadly, invisible. Ships built with one purpose: war. Lieutenant Su-min became an instructor. She trained special operations teams. The best of the best. Elite soldiers who would strike from shadows and leave only death behind. Months became years. The galaxy moved on. The 6 alien species that had destroyed humanity began fighting among themselves over human territory. Without humanity to unite against, old rivalries resurfaced. Year 3. The first Ghost-class ships rolled out of the shipyards. They were smaller than the old human warships, but far more advanced. They could appear from nowhere, strike and vanish before the enemy knew what hit them. Year 4. The fleet numbered 200 ships, not enough to match the council fleets in size. But humans were not going to fight fair. They were going to fight smart, fast, ruthless. Year 5 arrived. Humanity was ready. The scattered survivors had become an army. The traumatized refugees had become warriors. The broken species had rebuilt itself into something harder, sharper, angrier. Admiral Tae Yang addressed the fleet. They took our homes. They killed our families. They tried to wipe us from existence. Now we go back. Not as victims. Not as refugees. We go back as vengeance. In the darkness of space, 200 ships powered up their engines. Weapons charged. Crews took their stations. Every single person wore a patch showing the faces of the lost. 4.2 million faces. 4.2 million reasons to fight. Captain Daesung spoke to his crew. Remember who we're doing this for. Remember what they took from us. The Galactic Council begged for mercy. Humanity struck back with vengeance. The conference hall stretched across 3 kilometers of polished crystal, floating high above the planet Zentros Prime. Ambassador Hana walked through the massive doors, her boots clicking against the smooth floor. She had been summoned here on urgent business. The message said humanity had violated territorial agreements. She knew that was impossible. 40 years had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council. Humanity had given everything to prove themselves worthy. They shared their technology. They sent their soldiers to fight in council wars. They built colonies that fed hungry alien worlds. Hana had dedicated her entire life to this alliance. Captain Daesung stood on the bridge of the UNS Perseverance, watching the stars drift past his viewport. His ship patrolled the outer rim of human space, protecting the colonies that millions called home. He was a soldier, but also a diplomat. That was the human way, always ready to talk. Always ready to fight if talking failed. The emergency signal hit his console like a thunderbolt. Captain, we're receiving distress calls from New Sol Colony. His communications officer shouted. They're under attack! Before Daesung could respond, 2 more signals came through. Nova Terra, Titan Station. All 3 colonies were screaming for help at the same time. Battle stations. Set course for New Sol, maximum speed. Daesung ordered. His heart pounded. This made no sense. Who would attack human colonies? Humanity had no enemies. Back on Zentros Prime, Ambassador Hana entered the council chamber. Something felt wrong. The usual council members were absent. Instead, she saw Councillor Vexthar of the Krillian Empire sitting at the head table. Next to him sat representatives from 5 other species. All of them wore weapons. Council members never wore weapons, Ambassador Hana, Vexthar said, his voice cold. Thank you for coming. What is this about? Where are the other councillors? Hana asked. There are no other councillors. Not anymore. Vexthar stood up. Humanity has been judged. You are too dangerous, too aggressive, too adaptable. You learn too quickly. You grow too fast. In 100 years, you would dominate the galaxy. We cannot allow that. Hana felt ice in her veins. What have you done? What we had to do. What should have been done the day your species left Earth? Vexthar pressed a button. The massive screen behind him lit up with images of destruction. Human colonies burning, ships exploding, cities collapsing under orbital bombardment. No, Hana whispered. Your colonies are already gone. Your fleet is being destroyed as we speak. Earth's orbital defenses were sabotaged 3 days ago. Even now, our combined fleets are moving toward your homeworld. Vexthar smiled. By tomorrow, humanity will be extinct. The galaxy will be safe. Captain Daesung's ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel above New Sol. What he saw made his blood turn cold. The colony was gone. Where 5 million people had lived and worked and raised their children, there was only fire. Alien warships circled the burning ruins like vultures. Captain, we're detecting 6 different alien fleet signatures. Krillian, Talaxian, Vordesh, Zenth, Moravian, and Kellen. They're all here, his tactical officer reported. 6 species. The same 6 species that had voted to accept humanity into the council. The same 6 that humanity had fought beside. Traded with, trusted, sir, they're targeting us. Evasive maneuvers. Return fire. Daesung gripped his command chair. The Perseverance shuddered as alien weapons struck her shields. His ship was powerful, but it was 1 vessel against 50. On Earth, Admiral Tae Yang watched his command center dissolve into chaos. Reports flooded in from every direction. The Luna defense platforms were offline. The Mars garrison was under assault. Europa Station had gone silent. Ships were exploding across the solar system. How did they get through our defenses? Someone shouted. They were already here, Tae Yang said quietly. This was planned. They've been planning this for months, maybe years. He pulled up the tactical display. Earth's fleet was scattered. Most ships were weeks away. The planet was defenseless. He opened a channel to all remaining human forces. This is Admiral Taeyang. We are under coordinated attack by Council forces. All units, fight with everything you have. Protect the evacuation ships. Get as many people off Earth as possible. He paused. If we fall fighting. But mark my words, humanity does not forgive, and we never forget. Back on Zentros Prime, Ambassador Hana backed toward the door. You're making a terrible mistake. Humanity will die, Vexthar interrupted. Your species is not special. You're primitives who got lucky. Now that luck has run out. Hana's hand found her emergency beacon. She pressed it. History will remember this day. It will remember what you did. History is written by the survivors, Ambassador, and you won't survive. But Hana had not survived 40 years in politics without learning a few tricks. The beacon did more than call for help. It downloaded everything in the council chamber computers. Every file. Every message. Every piece of evidence of this betrayal. She ran. Energy blasts burned past her head. Her assistant, a young man named Hyun, appeared from nowhere and helped her reach her ship. Go, 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 Hana shouted. Their small vessel blasted away from Zentros Prime as fighter ships pursued them. Captain Dae-sung's ship was dying. Half his crew was dead. The Perseverance was burning from a dozen holes, but he had taken 7 alien ships with him. Captain, we need to retreat, his first officer said. Dae-sung looked at the ruins of New Seoul one last time. Somewhere down there, his sister had lived. His nephew. His friends, all gone. Set course for the rally point. Send a message to all human ships. We're not done. Not by a long shot. The Perseverance limped into faster-than-light travel, barely escaping the alien fleet. Across human space, the same scene played out 100 times. Colonies burned. Ships exploded. Millions died. The 6 alien species had struck with perfect coordination. They had sabotaged human defenses from within. They had planted spies and traitors. They had waited until the moment humanity was most vulnerable. By the end of the first day, 12 colonies were gone. 4.2 million humans were dead. Earth's orbital defenses were shattered. The proud human fleet was reduced to scattered survivors running for their lives. In a hidden bunker on Mars, Dr. Jiwoo watched the reports with tears streaming down her face. She was a scientist, not a soldier, but she knew what had to be done. She walked to her secret laboratory. The laboratory that officially didn't exist. The laboratory where humanity had been developing weapons that violated every council treaty. I hope we never have to use these, her supervisor had said. When the project started, Dr. Jiwoo powered up the systems. We're using them, she said to the empty room. Ambassador Hana's ship barely made it to the emergency station near Pluto. She transmitted everything she had, downloaded to the surviving human networks, proof, evidence, the complete record of the conspiracy. They wanted to exterminate us, she told Admiral Taeyang, over the quantum link. They planned this for years. Then they've made their choice, Taeyang replied. And we'll make ours. The galaxy thought it had destroyed humanity. The 6 alien species celebrated their victory. They divided up human territory. They took human technology. They told themselves they had saved the galaxy from a dangerous species. They were wrong. Humanity was wounded. Humanity was bleeding. But humanity was not dead. In hidden stations across the frontier, survivors gathered. Soldiers sharpened their weapons. Scientists worked through the night, and every single human remembered the faces of those they had lost. The first battle was over. Humanity had lost, but the war had just begun. The destruction continued for 6 hours. When it was done, Krill Prime was ISO. The Galactic Council begged for mercy. Humanity struck back with vengeance. The war entered its 6th month. The 6 conspiracy species were broken. Their fleets were destroyed. Their space infrastructure was gone. Their economies were collapsing. And still humanity showed no sign of stopping. Captain Dae-sung stood on the bridge of the Ghost of New Seoul. His orders were clear but difficult. Today they would deploy the equalizer weapon. Dr. Jiwoo had argued against it. Admiral Taeyang had overruled her. Sometimes to teach a lesson you needed to use overwhelming force. Target confirmed, his weapons officer reported. Vordesh Prime. The planetary shield is the strongest in the galaxy. Not for long. Daesung felt sick. But he remembered the faces of his lost family. He remembered 4.2 million dead humans. Charge the equalizer. The weapon powered up. It was beautiful and terrible, a device that could collapse matter at the quantum level. Dr. Jiwoo had created something that should not exist. Now humanity would use it, fire. The beam lanced out from the retribution. It struck the planetary shield of Vordesh Prime. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the shield began to collapse. Not gradually. Instantly. The entire planetary defense network simply stopped existing. On the planet below, billions of Vordesh looked up at their suddenly naked sky. For 300 years, that shield had protected them. Now it was gone, and human ships filled the space above their world. Broadcast our message, Daesung ordered. Ambassador Hana's face appeared on every screen on Vordesh Prime. People of Vordesh, your shield is gone. Your defenses are gone. Your military is gone. We could destroy your world right now. One command. One weapon. Your entire civilization would cease to exist. She paused. But we won't. Do you know why? Because we're not you. We don't exterminate species. We don't commit genocide. We fight those who tried to kill us, but we don't murder innocents. Remember this, Mercy. Remember that humanity could have destroyed you but chose not to. And remember who the real monsters were in this war. The message ended. The human fleet withdrew. Behind them, Vordesh Prime sat defenseless. A demonstration of human power. A warning to the galaxy. Lieutenant Sumin led her team on Talax 3. Their mission was to capture Talaxian military leaders who had ordered attacks on human colonies. They found their target in a bunker beneath the capital city. Please, we were just following orders, one general begged. I've heard that before. Sumin bound their hands. You're going to stand trial. You're going to answer for what you did. And the galaxy is going to watch. Back on the fleet, war crimes tribunals began. Humans captured hundreds of alien officers and officials. Each one was tried publicly. Evidence was presented. Testimonies were heard. The proceedings were broadcast across the galaxy. Some aliens were found guilty of planning the genocide. They received death sentences. Some were found guilty of carrying out attacks. They received life imprisonment. Some were found guilty only of following orders. They received lesser sentences but were still punished. The galaxy watched. Some aliens protested that this was Victor's justice. Ambassador Hana responded bluntly. This is not Victor's justice. This is actual justice. These beings conspired to exterminate an entire species. They murdered 4.2 million humans in cold blood. They targeted civilians. They destroyed colonies. They tried to wipe us from existence. If holding them accountable for genocide is wrong, then we're happy to be wrong. Young Hyun attended the trial of the officer who had commanded the attack on New Seoul. He sat in the gallery, watching as evidence was presented. Video of the attack. Recordings of orders. Proof of the conspiracy. The officer was found guilty. The sentence was death. Hyun felt nothing. No satisfaction, no joy, just emptiness. His family was still dead. His world was still gone. Justice did not bring them back. After the trial, Lieutenant Su-min found him. Are you okay? I thought I would feel better, seeing him sentenced, but I don't feel anything. Hyun looked at his hands. What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Revenge doesn't heal wounds. It just stops them from getting worse. Suman sat beside him. We're doing this so other species never try this again. Not because it makes us feel better. Commander Bora coordinated the final phase of operations. Human forces had surrounded the home worlds of all 6 conspiracy species. Not to attack. Just to watch. To make sure everyone understood that humanity could destroy them anytime they wanted. Status report, she requested. All battle groups in position. The conspiracy worlds are completely isolated. No ships in or out without our permission. Her tactical officer smiled grimly. We own this space now. Engineer Minho reviewed battle data from 6 months of combat. Human losses. 43 ships damaged, 5 ships destroyed, 2,317 casualties, 408 dead. Alien losses, 2,700 ships destroyed, hundreds of stations obliterated, millions dead. We won, he told Dr. Jiwoo. We actually won. Did we? Look at what we've become. Jiwoo gestured at the weapons data. We built things that should not exist. We killed millions. We became exactly what they feared we would become. No. We became what we needed to become to survive. There's a difference. Minho pulled up images of New Seoul before the attack. Happy people, families, children. They tried to take this away from us. Everything we did was to make sure they never try again. Intelligence Officer Jae Hyun intercepted a communication between the 6 conspiracy leaders. They were finally talking about unconditional surrender. Not negotiated peace, not a treaty. Complete total unconditional surrender. He forwarded the message to Admiral Tae Yang. About time, Tae Yang said, but we don't accept yet. Let them stew a bit longer. Let them understand that surrender comes on our terms, not theirs. Another week passed. The conspiracy species grew more desperate. Their economies were collapsing. Their people were starving because human blockades prevented food shipments. Their governments were falling apart as citizens demanded an end to the war. Finally, Counselor Vexthar sent a personal message to Ambassador Hana. It was broadcast live across the entire galaxy. Ambassador Hana, Admiral Tai Yang, people of humanity. Vexthar looked old, broken. On behalf of the Krillian Empire, the Talaxian Federation, the Vortish Collective, the Xanth Republic, the Moravian Union, and the Kellen Assembly, I offer unconditional surrender. We were wrong. We committed an unforgivable crime. We tried to exterminate your species, we failed, and we accept whatever punishment you deem appropriate. We beg for mercy, not for ourselves. We deserve none, but for our people, the civilians who had no part in this conspiracy. Please, end this war. The message ended. The galaxy held its breath. Ambassador Hana consulted with the human leadership. Admiral Tae Yang, Captain Daesung, Commander Bora, Lieutenant Sumin, Dr. Ji Woo, Engineer Minho. Even Young Hyun was there. Representatives of the survivors. People who had lost everything. They're surrendering, Tae Young said. The question is, do we accept? We've won, Bora argued. We've destroyed their military. We've proven our point. Continuing the war serves no purpose. It serves the purpose of making absolutely sure they never try this again. Daesung countered. We need to break them completely. So thoroughly that the thought of attacking humanity makes them sick. We've already done that, Sumin said quietly. Look at them. They're begging. The mighty Galactic Council is on its knees. We've won. Now we need to decide what kind of species we want to be going forward. All eyes turned to Hyun, the youngest person in the room. The survivor of New Seoul, what do you think? Hana asked him. Hyun was quiet for a long moment. I want them to pay. I want them to hurt like I hurt. I want them to lose everything like I lost everything. He paused. But killing more of them won't bring my family back. It won't rebuild New Seoul. It won't heal any of us. We've made our point. The galaxy knows not to mess with humanity. Maybe that's enough. Hana nodded slowly. I think we should accept their surrender. But on our terms. Harsh terms. Terms that ensure this never happens again. What kind of terms? Tae Yang asked. Complete military disarmament. War crimes trials for everyone involved. Reparations. Territory cessions. And most importantly, humanity gets permanent veto power in the Galactic Council. No major decision happens without our approval. Ever. The room considered this. It was harsh, but not as harsh as it could be. Humanity could demand the destruction of all 6 species. They had the power to do it. Instead, they were choosing a path that punished the guilty, but allowed civilizations to continue. I support this, Daesung said. One by one, the others agreed. Even those who wanted more revenge recognized that there had to be an end. Humanity could not fight forever. Ambassador Hana broadcast humanity's response. We accept your surrender. But understand this. Mercy comes with conditions. The 6 conspiracy species will be completely disarmed. Every ship, every weapon, every military installation. You will keep only what you need for basic police functions. War crimes trials will be held for every individual who participated in the conspiracy or the attacks. No exceptions. No appeals. You will pay reparations to humanity for the next 100 years. You will cede territory to create buffer zones around human space. And most importantly, the Galactic